Hi everyone, this is Veronica and I'm back on Wendy's channel to do a tutorial, and I want to show you, before I begin making the project, I want to show you some of the other pieces I've been working on, because I also want to show you some wire work that I've done. And I know that Wendy does not like wire work. She says she really doesn't like doing that. I know that she may have used wire, to do loops and things like that, or a quick wrap around a bead. But the designs in wire wrapping around beads or cabochons and things like that, that was not her cup of tea. So I will show you some pieces here. You can let me know in the comments if you're interested in having me do a, I guess, beginner-friendly wire wrapping tutorial for you. Just leave that in the comments, and I will go ahead and read as many comments as I can. Hopefully I can get to all the comments. That would be wonderful if you can let me know what you think, and I will make it a point to pick out a project, okay? So what we're going to do is something, depending on the bead that you use, you can make this elegant, or you can make it more casual. And I chose to use the 4mm. These are check fire polished bead, and they are called the Black Diamond AB. And I did get them at the artbeads.com store, and they're online, of course. And I do want to give a shout out to, it's called Affordable Jewelry Supplies. It's their YouTube channel, and she had done earrings like this, and so I was inspired to make a pair using the beads that I chose, because I really wanted some beautiful flash and just elegance to it. So what I'll do is I will show you some of the pieces that I've made, and then I will get the supplies ready so that we can go ahead and make this earring. And if you can see it here too, that when it actually stands up, it almost looks like a fan. So it kind of gets a nice little curve this way as well as that way. Okay, let me get this stuff and I'll be right back. Alright, so this here, some of you may even recognize this piece here. This came in one of the Jesse James beads, the magical bead box. I don't subscribe to that. I got a couple boxes and that was that. And so this is Van Gogh painting, of course imitation, it's not real. And as you can see, it's got the silver around it, and so I used my stainless steel chain here. And what I did was, now a lot of times, we put a bead on the back, but I like to use like a heavier bead as an anchor, because a lot of times when you're wearing a necklace that goes through, and you'll end up having the clasp come down towards the front, you're constantly adjusting it. So I added, well, I didn't add, what I actually did was, it was a long chain that I had it originally at this length. So what I did was come down about, I would say, 3.5 inches, 4 inches, and I just stuck a jump ring in one of those and the larger one to put the clasp. So it is attached that way. So you can do an extender in that fashion as well, or you can actually have a whole separate piece and attach it to a jump ring. Okay. Well, I decided to make some earrings to go along with that. And so the beads that were also in that magical mystery box were these. And they're just the perfect color to go along with the color theme here. So these are nice gold tones, but it also has the silver attached. So I also made a set of earrings to go with it using gold tone. So let me just show you these beads here. This has got an AB on it. These are so pretty. And then these here, this set here, it's got beautiful AB on that teardrop. And you got some nice column beads here, rectangle beads here. It's kind of smoky on the other side. So that would also go, because the colors go beautiful with that as well. Okay, let me move those out of the way. These here are bralettes here. So I did wire wrapping. It's kind of got a gold wash on it, if you can see that. This is a freshwater pearl. Straighten that out. And this is with 26 gauge. And the freshwater pearls here, so they're not going to be exactly identical, but I tried to find two that were similar in size. And boy, I'll tell you, this is not using 26 gauge to try to wrap around a bralette to get that effect here. Yeah, it was challenging because it's so thin that it wants to, when you're going around, the whole bead wants to spin on you. So it was quite challenging. But aren't they just so adorable? And so it's got a nice pink hue. That's the back. Okay. These ones I made yesterday. I'm still working on a couple of other pieces, and this color blue is so amazing. And look at that sparkle in there. And with the antique bronze, amazing. So I just did a nice cute little wire wrap around that and gave it a soft bend. And I actually just used a head pin and did, one or two wraps around that, and then worked my way up and did the little, like a scarf that goes around a neck right onto that loop. And the silver tone looks beautiful with this color blue. So this is the set. I absolutely love these. I don't know what it is, but I was just so excited to wear them today. And they're just so cute. And this here is one of the pendants I did. It's actually a regular bead. Okay, shaped like, a teardrop. Okay, as you can see, it's got the hole through it. And just love that sparkle. Just love it. So it's not a cabochon. So this was quite challenging to do wire work around. So I did it, but I put the point downwards. I put a freshwater pearl here. And I put it's a half copper electroplate on a rondelle. I did, of course, a spiral. And I did some wire weaving work there. And you see the bail. And right here to the left, you'll see, I like to do, with extra wire that's left over, especially with the square wire. I like to bring it around a loop that I've created, this loop that came down and around, and that's how I made this spiral. But I like to twist that around and do a spiral, or what I call it is the vine. I make a vine effect out of that. It's kind of like my signature mark on my, usually on what I do when I do some wire working. And that's the back. So yeah, so it's got some sparkle and that vintage bronze look here. It's so pretty. And then this one here, so what I do is I interchange this with this chain. So I'll take the green and put that on when I take this pendant off. So this one is with this beautiful bright pumpkin orange. It's just so sweet, so sweet. And look at that sparkle. And the same thing, it's domed on both sides, so it's not a cabochon. And so I got a little spiral there, came down with the other wire here, and I just simply used a 22 gauge to do the bottom foundation here. And I just put a check round ivory pearl bead here, and I did the same thing here. I made a little effect of a vine. I used the 22 gauge here of the antique bronze. That was quite a challenge because it's you get that work hardening in it. So yeah, it gets tough, but I'll tell you, it just makes lovely swirls. So it's just so nice to not have all these crooked bends in there. It's just so beautiful. And there's another vine effect in there. Okay. And what I did here, this is where I made a separate, I guess, connector. It's really not a connector. What I use these, again, I'll take and put large beads or a couple of the other beads. These, I believe these are 10 millimeter, but they're not too heavy. So I just add them on there. It gives weight to keep the clasp in the back. So even if, you like it just for decoration, but it's functional. I think it absolutely a great idea to have it to keep that clasp in the back. So there's that. And I'll just take this off and put this on if I want to change the chain out. This is, I guess this is 18 karat gold over stainless steel. So it's just really, really nice chain. All right, so I'll be back with all the parts that we need for the earrings that we're going to make today, okay? All right, so for this set today, you will need, of course, choose your beads. I have 4 millimeter here, and the video that I had watched from the Affordable Jewelry Supplies YouTube channel, she used 6 millimeter, and so if you like a little bit larger beads, but I wanted something that was delicate and elegant, and so I chose to have the Fire Polish 4 millimeter. I also have here some 11-0 seed beads. These are actually Jabloneks from the Czech Republic. So these are not Tohos, but they're very good seed beads. They seem to be quite uniform because we're using them in this area here. So let me just bring this a little closer so you can see. I just love that sparkle and that rainbow. Just so pretty. So yeah. And then now, I don't know what chain you might have and what you're using, but this is that stainless steel chain here, the same thing that I have here. So I actually just counted out 11 rings, 11 connections or whatever, the little rings, and 11 for each one. This should fit perfectly because this is what is here on this one. So it is very small. This is a very small chain. I think I have one that's smaller than this that you can't even get a a jump ring through, even on the skinniest jump ring. But that's how tiny those little things are. But yeah, I'll have to find some jump rings that will go through that because I'd love to use it. And so I do have a big spool, but I took some off and I just kind of wrapped it around something here. So this is where I cut it off from. So as you can see, even just it, you know, with just the metal and the way it flashes, it does give it a nice sparkle too. So it'll give it that elegance. And I have 4mm jump rings. We're only gonna need about 2, but I just grabbed a bunch. You'll need an 8mm. You're not going to be able to go any smaller than that. So you'll need an 8mm jump ring because we're going to have to connect them here, if you can see. And because I did try it with a 6 and it didn't work so well. So the 11 O's, these are crystal, I guess, clear, but it's got the silver lining inside. These I have 20. This is a 22 gauge. Again, I got these at artbeads.com, but I am waiting for my Parawire. I am absolutely in love with Parawire now because it is just an amazing wire. These guys were great, and these spools are affordable, as you can see here. Let's see. Was it 24 feet? I don't even know. I think this was 24 feet. But 24 feet, I got these. They give you spools that are like $5. So this is great to start off with for anybody who is looking to not spend all this money on this wire, you know, expensive wire. Artbeads.com. It's just great. Great stuff. And you can get spools for like $5, and it's great to start with. So I don't get paid from them. I don't get paid from anybody. I have my own YouTube channel for my jewelry, but I don't monetize it. So yeah. Anyway, so I got five of these, and they are at 1 1/4 each. Now these have to be precise because this is what's going to be in here. So you want them to be as precise as possible. And I cut them, straighten them out with your wire straighteners, and then you cut them down to 1 1/4 a piece. This one is also the 22 gauge, and I just cut about 2.5 inches, 3 inches, because this is going to be that bottom base. And you could actually put it in that curve to start with if you want. That's, you know, not a big deal. We'll be able to work it out to get it so that it's the same at some point. And then these are my surgical stainless steel ear wires. And I do have a stopper here, silicone stopper. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the way they make them, but earrings seem to fall out left and right these days. My daughter has like lost earrings. Even myself, I'm like, they just fall out, and I'm like, what is going on? I've never had that problem growing up, so I don't know if there's a slight change. I have no idea. But and then of course you have these beautiful, and these are called the Black Diamond. And in fact, here's the bag. I got these at artbeads.com. They have some great beads. Definitely have. I recommend going to their store and checking out. You know, look at that, just so amazing. So as you can see. And they're good quality. That's the thing. I don't mess around anymore. You know, if I can't, I'm not just going to go buy a bunch of junk beads because I'll just end up not using them. So I like to create things that are beautiful, that are good quality, And if I have to wait for a sale, then that's what I'll do. You know, I have plenty of beads here that I can play with until there's a sale. I'm not one of those that, you know, got, you know, a huge room of beads that I never touch. There are beads that I, you know, ended up not liking when I purchased it, but whatever. But yeah, so those things happen. You know, it's par for the course if you're in jewelry making. But yeah, so what we're going to do is I'm going to move some of this out of the way so we can work at, you know, with a couple of things at a time, because the camera will want to focus on the background. So let me get that prepared and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back here with this, what we're going to start with. So right here, in here, we're going to start off with making these parts right here. And the tools that you're going to need to start with, of course, is your wire straightener. And so you want to get your wire as straight as possible before you cut them into your 1 1/4 inch. Now, if you want them larger, like if you're going to use 6mm beads, maybe go to 1 1/2 inch, and then the final length will be 1 1/4, or about an inch. This is going to be a little less than an inch, and you'll see. You'll need your round nose pliers, your flush cutters, your tweezer nose pliers, and you can have chain nose pliers, or like I have here, my bent nose pliers here. Okay, and if there's anything else we need, of course, I'll let you know. So you might hear some noise as I lay down my tools here on the side. I have some stuff that I was working on over here, so I have them off to the side here. So right now we're going to start with these. I'm going to show you just a couple, okay, and then I'll do the rest off the camera, and then we'll come back with the next step, okay? So we're going to take the round nose pliers after you've cut these into your 1 1/4 inch pieces. If you're using the 4mm, okay? Get your 11/0s out, and of course any color you decide you want to do, that's fine. If you have the small chain, like I do here, it's very tiny, then get 11 of the links here. Otherwise you're just going to have to measure it, and that may take a few tries. So once you get it connected to here, to be able to get it up here without it being too wobbly, too loose, or too tight. So you'll have to make that decision on how many links you're going to have with whatever chain you're using. Now, because this is more of a delicate piece, you definitely want to use something very delicate and tiny, okay, as for your chain. Because unless you want to have big whopping loops, I don't know, that's not what I would prefer. I want to maintain the integrity of the daintiness or the delicate look of this earring. Okay, so we're going to take one of these. We're going to take our round nose pliers, and we're going to make a loop. So you don't want to make them big, obviously, so you want to be kind of right around here. Let me come in a little closer. So hopefully it won't go out of frame, but you want to have it here. You can make sure it's flush if you want a round you're making like an eye pin, or you can have it sticking out just a wee bit to make it more of a teardrop, okay? But you don't want them too big. So right about there. You're going to take that here, and you're just going to bring it all the way till it touches the wire, okay? And you'll look like you have the letter P. And then you're going to stick it back in, and then right at that end, right here, you're then going to bend it here to bring it straight up, so you have your little eye pin. Sorry, got stuff that was all over my tool. Probably a project I was working on. And then you'll see it's a little crooked. Just straighten that out. Okay. And you can just gently do it because you don't want to be marring up your wire. Okay, so just bring it back to the straight position. All right, let me come back out. I think I was at the 3. No. Sorry about that. All right. Now from here, you're going to pick up your 11 O's. Now I counted 12 for each one for my size. So again, if you're going to make them a little longer, then go ahead and, count. Just keep counting until you have about 1/4 inch left here so that you can make the other loop. Okay. And what you want to do with your seed beads is spread them out like this. It's much easier to pick them up. So we're going to pick up 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just let them drop down. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So as you can see, you'll have about 1/4 inch left over. Okay, now you can snip the end just a little bit if it's not flush, just a tiny bit. Okay, and now it's flush. And now I'm going to go ahead and take my round nose pliers again. Now you want to make sure that these are facing the exact same way. So if it's off just a little bit, you'll be able to take 2 of your pliers to bring them into the same facing direction. So you're going to come in here and come on over. Now, if one side is bigger than the other and you're making it consistent like that, that's fine, because then you can use the larger end to go into the jump ring. Okay, so again, I have it like that. I have lotion on my hands and everything is spinning around here. Just come in and then just bring that up so that you have. Now if it gets a little crooked, just go ahead and fix that, straighten that out again. And yes, you're going to have a little space in here, but that's fine because you just want it to flow nice, and it's not even recognizable that there's that little bit of space. And it does, and it makes it so that it's not so cramped and tight anyway. So I want to make sure that my that my loops are the same way. And that is where you can take, and just be gentle. If your pliers are all choppy, you want to be careful on how you grip it, because you don't want to cut into that wire and end up snapping it. That happened to me with one of my other pliers that I had, and yeah, it wasn't good. So just straighten them out. You can take that and make sure that they're the same. Okay, and then you know that your loops are the same. And then of course you want to make sure that your loops are closed. So just make sure that you have and just gently bring it closer to the neck. All right, and I'll show you that one more time, and then I'll do the rest off of camera. So again, if you're going to cut a certain amount, and you've decided on your size that you want, just make sure that your loops are consistent, very, very consistent. Okay, we're going to come in again. And just bring it around. You have your little P. And bring that up. I want to make sure that's closed. And that it's straight. And I'm going to pick up 12 of my seed beads. One, two. 8. 9, 10, 11, and 12. And I have enough to make my loop on the other side. And as you can see, these seed beads are quite consistent, even though they're not Tohos. And they're pretty because they got the silver lining. Okay, and again, you want to make sure that your loops are facing the same way. I want to snip that end a little because it's a little choppy. Okay. Once it spin around in my fingers. And then again, just come on up and bend it so that it's straight. And then go ahead and close that. Make sure it's connected right at the neck. Okay, and then just straighten it out. If you get yourself one of those grips on there that ends up bending it, and just get it as straight as possible. And then we're going to go ahead and make sure these are straight and in the same direction. So as you can see, they're not. I have one facing one way. So you want to just take it and turn it enough where they are exactly facing the same direction. Okay. All right, so I'm going to do the rest off of camera, and I'll be right back, and we'll start the next one. And for the longer piece, do the same thing. Just make a loop at one end, okay? You don't need a large loop because that is what you're going to hold the chain onto, and so you don't want some ugly loop hanging out at the end, okay? You want it to blend in. So you can do that with your larger one, and then just make the loop. We're not putting seed beads on them because that's where these other beads are going to go, and these, okay? All right, so what you want to do now is, I got these all set up right here, and I got my loop done on the one that I want to have as my curved one here at the bottom. This is probably a little exaggerated, and we'll fix that as it comes along. So now what you want to do is you're going to take, you need 6 of those beads, the 4mm, whatever it is you choose, and you're going to put one on. Okay, then you're going to put put that on. A bead, and you're going to have 5 of the beads. The 6th bead is going to be saved for this part up here, so we're going to have to make a component with that. And then another one of these. Another bead. Oops, if I can see it. Oh, it's starting to rain. Actually, it's been raining. Another one. Another bead. I just love these colors. I love them. It's so exciting. Because they sparkle so elegantly. You see that? Look at that. And one more. And then the last one here. Okay. So you're going to have it. It's going to look like that. Okay. Now this is where we're going to do the loop here. So you could take it and get about 1/4 of an inch from that. And I'll say right about here. Oops, that went flying. And then I'm going to make my loop here. Okay. Same as the others. Make sure it's small and not so large that you are going to have an ugly piece. We don't want that. Same thing, bring it around. Okay. I know it's kind of hard to see with all these in the way. Okay, so I want to stick that back in there to bring it back in the other direction. Gets a little fiddly, so just be careful. All right. All right, so we want to make sure, whoops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I forgot a bead. We're supposed to have 6 on the bottom. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 on the bottom, not 5. Sorry about that. I'll be right back. I got to make another one of these. Okay, I'm back. So I started again and again. Now it's just the 6 beads. You start with a bead and you're going to end with a bead. So my apologies. I pulled out the 6 and just forgot that I needed 7. Actually, it's because I know that we are going to make the component for the top part. So again, oh, all right. Not that you have to watch me do it again. So I'll try to do it quickly. And get these over here so I can reach them better. So I have 3 on. I need 3 more. I hope you guys can see this. And that. All right. Now we can do this again. And there you go. All right. So we'll go ahead and again cut off what we need to. This time I'll leave it down so I don't have it go flying across the room. And just make your loop, and then we'll worry about getting them equal to each other in direction. And now I'm going to find my round nose pliers. Oops. Bring that around so you have your little P. Okay. All right. So if you have it nice and already on a nice curve, now you can just check it up against this one and make any adjustments that you need to. Okay. Okay, I see right there. That looks right about right. Okay. And they are lining up nicely. A bit more. Okay. So now that you have them on here, we're going to go ahead and open up the 8mm jump ring. Okay. These better all go in there nicely. If I have to make any adjustments, I will have to pause it and come back. Okay. So let's see how this goes. So we're going to go ahead and open up. And now you're going to feed each one through. Okay. Make sure you get a good grip on your jump ring because it could slip. And it's good to bend your to bend this first, because otherwise you'll have a struggle with getting these on here. All right, I got them all on there. Okay, as you can see here. So now I'm going to go ahead and close this up. Actually, I'm going to get this one because it's a smaller area. Close it up and make sure it's nice and not distorted. Okay. Make sure it's got a nice close. All right. Now you can always turn that around if you can to hide that seam in there. Okay. Now this is where we're going to go ahead and add the chain. And how we can do that is we'll add our jump rings on one end. Make sure that's open a little bit more so that we don't struggle too much. Okay. So I'm going to try one. I'm going to try one with putting on the jump ring first and then going from here. So I think the other way might work better, but we'll see. I'm going to close it a wee bit. I'm just going to close it a bit so hopefully the chain won't fall off. So I'm going to go ahead and just put that on there. See, it wants to focus on everything in the back. Everything gets so blurry. Okay, so now we have that on one side. And now we're going to have to open up the other side and get this end in there. And like I said, I think it might be better to do this first and then that, but we'll do that on the other half. Okay, so I'm going to open this like you would a jump ring or an ear wire, and hopefully won't have to bend it too much. Oops. Again, there's gonna be some pulling on this. If you have to make adjustments. Okay. So it's going to feel tight at first when you're putting it together, but as you can see, once that goes on there, it's not tight, okay? But it's going to give this nice effect of turning it into that kind of that fan, that fan look. Okay, now we're going to do the other side. Now I want to try this bottom first. I think this side might be easier doing it in that fashion. And then go ahead and close that. All right, and now we'll add our jump ring. And again, I just want to open it just a little bit more. And you can just kind of let it flow so you can see which direction that might be the best way to go. And then go ahead and bring it right up onto that jump ring. All right. Now what I want to do, I want to kind of bend these upward a little. I believe I did that to the other one, so we're going to kind of bend these up. All right, this way it's not such a struggle here. So far, this is what we have, and they are looking gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. All right, so this is very simple. Take your 22 gauge. Okay, and I already have part of that eye pin from when I had to break down because I missed a bead for the bottom part. So I'm just going to utilize that. I'm going to come in here and put that bead on. I'm going to bend that. Okay. Just like that. And then I'm going to give it just kind of a little squish. Let me just come closer. Just a little squish, because now you're going to come in and cut right about there. Okay. And then make your loop. Just bring it all the way around. Oops. I might get that a little screwy. Okay, and then you just want to make sure it's closed. Okay, now you have your little component. And that you're going to take another, no, you don't need a jump ring. You're going to actually open up one end. Oops. Open up that end, stick it right on there. Just want to make sure it falls in that direction mostly for the fan, that fan effect. Go ahead and close that. Now we can add our ear wire. So what you want to do is make sure that, as you can see, your ear wire is going to have to be facing the front, obviously. So you want to make sure that these are facing the same way, or not facing the same way. This one is facing this way, and this one has to be facing this way. So we want to make sure we hold on to that. Give it a good grip. If you need your tool to hold on to that end, then by all means. And now we're just going to turn this in the other direction so that it's facing that way. Okay? And just double check. I always want to double check the work. And so you want the loops to be facing in opposite directions. All right, because your ear wire, when you open that, okay, lift that up again. Make sure that we're go ahead and put that on there and shut your ear wire. Look at that. Amazing. Oh my, aren't they just gorgeous? They are absolutely gorgeous. Let me get them placed nicer here. Make sure that this is a little bit. Just double check your work again. Remember, want to make sure that they're okay. Sorry, I just want them to look so pretty. Look at that. Aren't they gorgeous? So I cannot wait to wear them tomorrow. So everyone, I wanted to give you I know I didn't start off the video. I was very excited about doing this, but I shall never forget my Lord. You know, God has given us these abilities. Without Him, we have nothing. And in the Bible it says, all good things come from God. And man cannot have anything unless God gives it to him. And that came out of the mouth of John the Baptist. So, I got two of them here. And one, it says, delight yourself also in the Lord, and He shall give you the desires of your heart. So, and that is from Psalm 37:4. And we have to delight ourselves in the Lord, and not in man, not in ourselves. Okay, we are part of the creation, so we worship the Creator, not the creation. And then again, this kind of matches it. So it says, if you remain in me and my words remain in you, ask whatever you wish and it will be done for you. And this is the words directly from Jesus, and this is in the book of John chapter 15 verse 7. So everyone, thank you so much. God bless, and I hope you have a beautiful weekend. Love you all, and be kind to each other, and just love one another. Okay? Everyone, God bless, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.